Hello, everybody,
Hi.
and welcome back to another adventure of the intrepid crew of the Berezaya Argia. Uh, as a quick recap, um, uh, the crew had gone into Sharn to do a couple little things, and through some various means, mostly Amaya's father and an angry argument there about getting Zaya the hell out of Sharn. And Jasper, or someone, or a changeling similarly changed that looked like Rhiannon, having conversation with Gavin, mentioning that something seemed to be going on and that it would probably be best to get the ship out of Sharn right away, as different groups were getting motivated to make a move on trying to seize her or something. Y'all managed to get out of there in the nick of time, but then had a bit of a discussion trying to figure out exactly where you wanted to go. Ultimately, Amaya let chaos theory reign, and you kind of rolled randomly, aka had a goblin shoot at a map with a crossbow. But ultimately, landed on Hakatorvak, the newly unseated throne of one Rashak, and now currently inhabited by one of your allies, a gold dragon that likes to disguise themselves as a mild-mannered gnome named Coglin. You flew, landed and appeared, and a bunch of you, some of you went in to find that Coglin and some lizard folk shamans were in the midst of trying to seal a bit of a rift that some demons were spewing out, and y'all fought a lot of demons, and got the message out to some of the people that were up above to come down and help, and Amaya was able to fly down with the help of Nikali and get into position. And the last, where we kind of left off, so admittedly I don't have a gargantuan gold dragon, so the role of Coglin will be played by the white gargantuan dragon. The red thing that's kind of to the south of it is one of the two Glabber zoos that had most recently come out of the portal. The other Glabber zoo is right here, and is currently being flaked by Gavin and Barca, with Tia flying, I think, just a little bit above. This is the kind of the rift here, and these are the little dragon or the lizard folk shamans trying to close the rift. However, where we had last kind of left off was sort of the horribleness that is even more ugly and nasty, foul-smelling demon creature. This big guy right here had just sort of pulled itself out of the rift and proceeds to look around as things are going on, and as more or less kind of like a legendary action, for lack of a better term, casts some sort of horrible spell that you hear. It speaks in a horrible language, which I guess, does anyone speak Abyssal?
No.
Fair enough.
Nope.
So speaks some horrible thing, and then kind of lunges forth with its large, gnarly, kind of clawed hand, and you see this sickly yellow ray shoot out towards the back line, actually, and and of all people hits Ember. And you hear her go, "Son of a," and then she disappears.
Cool. Love that for us.
So we'll go to the top of the round, because we're just going to start in the thick of it, which I believe is Sir Gavin.
It is.
Oh, snap. All right. I've got, what, a Glabo right in front of me?
Yeah,
you
you're
have a
flanking with Barca.
Glabrazoo standing in front of you. You and Barca are currently flanking it.
Is this one injured at all?
He just came through.
Yes, they are. Both the Glabrazoos are injured.
Okay.
I was thinking of the other guy.
Yeah.
Shut up.
The now Finishny, however, has
Yeah, no,
not.
He's new and shiny. I guess I'm just gonna hit him a couple of times with Ravager, and since I'm flanking, I have advantage.
You do.
Alright, Ravager. I should just roll twice. I should just roll 2 die. 28 for the first attack.
That will hit.
And 28 for the second attack. Just one short of a crit both times.
That will also hit.
Where are you? Uh, 22 points of damage total. Magical slash it.
Okay. You slash back and forth, cutting in some deep furrows. You see the greenish black ichor that makes up its sort of putrid blood-like essence is leaking profusely from it.
Bonus action, I'm going to cast the spell Hex on the Nilfeshni.
Okay.
And that is going to end my turn.
Is there any saving throws for that? I forget.
Nope.
Okay. Excellent. Then I believe it is
Rhiannon. Yeah, with Barca on deck, babe.
Okay.
Rhiannon does not like this newcomer. Not even a little bit. So we are going to cast Guiding Bolt up its butt at 5th level.
Okay. And remind me, is that a save?
No, it's an
Or is
attack
that
roll.
just your attack roll? Okay.
It's an attack roll.
Alright.
Does a 21 hit it? God, I hope.
A 21 will in fact hit it.
Okay. Hey, come here. Okay. That's a 10. That's a 10. 10, 20. 30, 34 points of radiant damage. And he's very sparkly.
The holy light of Ilyana drops forth upon it, and you see its flesh sizzle, because it does not like that.
Good.
It is
Whoever attacks it next gets advantage. And that is really all I can do. I'm definitely not moving closer. So that'll be the end of Rhiannon's turn.
Then it is the Barkinator, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. Barca is also going to attack the Glabrezu in front of us. Betwixt. Did I accident? Oh, god damn it. Sorry, I accidentally closed Barker's sheet. Give me a second.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? Oh, that's good. Okay.
Alright, Barca is going to swing away. He is going to be using the Great Weapon Master since he has advantage. And without advantage, without reckless, which is nice. 18, does that hit?
An 18 will hit.
Okay, and his second swing away, 21.
A 21 will also hit.
Okay, and he just gets the 2 attacks, so I will roll the damage. 20 for the first damage, also magical. And 27 for the second damage.
Alright. In your best Barca voice, how do you want to do this?
Nice.
Yeah.
You gotta do it in your Barca voice.
I gotta do it in my Barca voice. Darren, I'm sorry. Barca. Barca swing. Really hard. Twice. Hit. Big thing. Glabrezu, is that the one with the pincers?
Yes, it's got 2 large upper
Okay.
arms with pincers and 2 smaller arms with...
Hit crab demon with axe. Twice. And it die.
That works for me.
Oh, I'm gonna change your video up.
And since that guy's dead, I can replace this guy with that guy, so it's actually showing as a blabber. Hey. Because technically that other figure was a 15. Alright,
I think Barca will end. Sorry to make you get up again. Barca's going to end his turn by moving to the next closest foe.
moving to the
I think
Now
that's the
Feshni,
now Feshni. Yeah.
Yeah, then he will move to the Nalfeshni.
Okay. And that was it for Barca,
Yup.
which then it is Blabberzu's turn. Let me just double check something real quick. I love gold. Where's the gold dragon? There it is. Okay. Big F and gold. 22. Okay. 2 pincers will be green. Oh no, that's going to be a nat 20.
Oh no, Mr. Bill.
But the 15 will miss, but the 2 fist attacks will hit. Alright, so. You see the one fighting Coglin just tears huge chunks out of Coglin with its horrible pincers. And I need to do math, because that's a thing. Hey, math. Alright.
Hey, Math Arena.
No.
Hi.
31 and oh, that makes for easy math. Yay. And so just starts just tearing chunks out of Coughlin, and Coughlin is not very happy. And then I believe it is Coughlin's turn to return the favor.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's 21 plus 38. 55. Damn, that thing's still up.
Boo.
I mean, it doesn't look good. I mean, it's a... I imagine this is the D&D equivalent of, like, seeing Godzilla fight some sort of horrible, nasty monster of the week. Because admittedly, when the Glabrezu tears into Coughlin, Coughlin does look injured, but he looks more pissed off than injured.
That's good.
And then pretty much tears the Glabrezu a new a-hole, and the Glabrezu is looking very injured. Then it is the... Oh, then it is the Nefeshni. Alright.
Great. I mean, great.
So I need...
Amaya, you're on deck.
Oh no, that's gonna
Got
be
it.
the shamans too. Okay, I need... It's gonna be Barca, Gavin, and pretty much all the lizard folk. You're all gonna need to make a wisdom save. Lizard folk got 2 nat 20s.
Barca and Gavin are going to make wisdom saves. Great. Gavin is a 19. Barca, where are you, buddy? Oh boy. 8.
Okay. Gavin is going to be fine. Barca is going to be frightened.
Oh,
For a
poor
minute.
Barca.
And just to remind you what frightened does is Barca will have a disadvantage in all ability checks and attack rolls while the source of the fear is within line of sight,
Yep.
and cannot willingly move closer to the creature. You do see 2 of the lizard folk shamans run off in abject terror as this sort of creepy sort of nimbus of kind of glowing lights what could probably easily be described as like a demonic fairy fire, for lack of a better term. At least that's how it sounds. So that goes off, and then this thing just uses its claws and its bite to tear into Barca, since Barca's standing right in front of him.
Seems legit.
I'm guessing a 23 will hit.
He's a 16.
Okay, so one of the claw attacks will miss. However, one of the bite attacks will hit, doing 32 piercing, and one of the claw attacks will hit, doing 15 slashing.
Okay. So he's raging, so 16 and 7. I don't want to get hit. I don't want to get hit by this thing. Okay, got it.
And there, well, and you get kind of sprayed with some of Barca's blood as you realize this thing is fairly savage. And by fairly, I mean this thing is beastly, ugly, smells funky, and is currently covered in lots of Barca blood.
And hits like a motherfucker.
It's like a mofo. And I believe that is it for feel like we're missing something. Did we miss something? Let me double check something.
No, it's Amaya's turn.
Okay, so then Amaya.
All right. Well, Amaya is going to move forward towards the Nalfashni.
Okay.
You have advantage because it's sparkly.
Excellent.
20, 25, 30. So 40 feet will get you kind of right on the same area as Barca.
Well, I've got a move of 50, so I think I'm going to move one more towards the west just in case it can be flanked later.
Okay, well, you could do like up here like this if you wanted.
Yep, I will do that.
You can't really get over
Yeah,
here.
I know. I know I won't be able to flank, but like if Gavin moves up to the south of it, then Gavin would be flanking. And then Maya is going to swing at it with her Sunblade a couple times here. I have advantage on the...
on your first attack.
Yeah.
I also need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, you technically would when you're still about 10 feet behind Barca, roughly.
Dang, even with advantage, not great. 15.
Okay, 15, actually, you're good. So then you're able to kind of complete your move. You're good.
Woo, cool. All right. First attack is going to have advantage, so we'll roll that.
Pew pew.
Fuck up its
22 to hit.
A 22 will indeed hit.
Beautiful. Roll the 1 on the damage die, though, so 7 radiant damage for that.
Okay.
Oh, but that second attack was a nat 20.
Yes.
Now it was only the first attack had the advantage.
Correct. The second attack was just 1 die, but it was a good die.
It was a good, very good die.
So that one will do 14 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
So
much like the glowing nimbus of Ilyana's light that has crashed upon this creature's skin and causing it to kind of boil and hiss, you find with your sunblade that you are just cutting furrows into this thing a lot deeper than what you would even expect, Barca and one of his heaviest hits to kind of unfurl. Like, you're definitely doing some serious damage to it.
excellent. And with that one, I think I'm going to spend a key point to make it a stunning strike, so it has to make a con saving throw 2.
And what's the save?
DC 17.
I got an 18, actually.
Ooh.
It has a pretty solid con save, admittedly.
Yeah. Figured it was a long shot, but... and then I
And
will...
from what you've seen, most of these bigger demons, like even the Glabrazoos, and especially this one, seem to be pretty durable.
Sure. Well, and I've still got some unarmed strikes that I can throw at it, so we'll see if any of those land.
Okay,
21 to hit for the first one.
that will hit.
So then it will take 8 points of magical bludgeoning. Ooh, and then a nat 1 for the last attack, so nothing there.
Okay.
And that will be Amaya's turn.
Alrighty. So the with two of the shamans kind of running away in terror. You see that they're the four that are still kind of remaining are sort of struggling to get it back under control with as much effort as they can. So the portal doesn't seem to shrink any this round, but it doesn't necessarily grow any larger either. Nothing else appears to come out of the portal or of the rift at this time. I believe then it would be Gavin.
Yes.
So when I cast Hex, I needed to, because I actually cast the spell, not just the Hexblade's Hex. I needed to choose a saving throw on the Nilfeshni that they have disadvantage on. Again, no save, it's just part of the spell. Since I didn't declare it then, I'm going to declare it now. I'm going to have you roll disadvantage for the Nilfeshni on con saves going forward. That's on me, so I should have known what spell I was casting. So then I'm going to bonus action Misty Step, so I am flanking with Barca on the Nilfeshni.
Well, you can't really flank with
You can
Barca,
flank with Amaya.
otherwise you will be going through the rift.
Okay, I will flank with a Maya. I can do that?
Mm-hmm.
But you can flank with Amaya by going right about there.
Okay, then I will flank with a Maya. And that was my bonus action. I don't like any of this. I guess I'm just going to hit it twice with my sword. Advantage. 23 to hit for the first one.
Yep, that'll hit.
And a nat 20 for the second one.
Okay.
So, the first one is going to do... is it susceptible to necrotic damage? Again, because of the hex.
You can do necrotic damage to it.
Okay, so I'm just going to roll the damage together. Ooh. Well, get a crit on the first one. 22 for the first attack, and that was the non-crit.
Nice.
And 26 for the second attack. That was the crit.
Okay, it's definitely not looking happy by any means.
That is all I could do.
Not happy at all. It is still up, but it's definitely, as far as you can tell, it's starting to look maybe bloody. It definitely has a lot of wounds coming from it. You find your sword is able to kind of dig in a little easier with Rhiannon and Amaya kind of sizzling its flesh a little bit with some of the radiant damage. For what that's worth. So yeah. Then I believe it is Rhiannon with Barca on deck.
It is. This rift. Does there appear to be any way that Rhiannon can help the shamans close it?
Go ahead and make an Arcana roll.
Uh, 18?
Yeah, so you admit it, I mean, from what you can see, it definitely looks like they are doing some sort of ritual to try and almost kind of the equivalent like of a ritual of to close it. And, hello.
Hold on 1 second, gentlemen. And NB?
Dad. Well, while we take this quick station break and identification, Kit, why don't you talk a little bit about your stream?
I would love to. So I am Kit, the Seven-Tail Fox. I have my own Twitch channel, Seven-Tail Fox, Tale, like the stories, because that's what we like to collect. We play all kinds of stuff. I have streamed a number of games in the past. Lately, we've been doing a lot of Sea of Thieves and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. But we like any games that either have a great story for us or that we can make our own great stories in. So feel free to come on by. I don't really have much of a set schedule yet, but I kind of stream whenever I can. Come on in, share a story, hang out, vibe with us. Should be cool times. We'd love to have you there.
Excellent. So yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. So there's a ritual going on.
Yes, and you're granted some of the materials that they're using seem very like you're not necessarily grasping all of that, but for the most part, I mean, you're a pretty smart cookie with all of your smartness
things.
and all of the things, and you think that you you do think that you'd stand a good chance to assist them, even though you don't necessarily know the specifics of the ritual, but you have enough arcane knowledge and background, you'd probably be able to help.
Would I need to move up to the rift?
Yes.
Cool. Love that for me.
You'd probably have to take one of the, like, you'd have to be within 5 feet of the rift, give or take.
Okay. So move me, if you would, 30 feet. I do want to try to skirt around the Nalfeshni. Like, I don't want to go straight. I don't want to.
Do you want to go to the north side or to the south side?
Put me on the south side because that's near where Gavin is.
Okay. We went 5, 10, like 15, 20, 25, 30. 30
and then
feet would get you.
And then I'll bonus
there.
action Misty Step.
Okay.
And that'll give me another 30.
So that could get you like right there.
Yeah. And then I guess use my action to help whatever they're doing.
Okay. Admittedly, both of the lizard folk are more than a bit surprised when all of a sudden you appear between them, but you manage to, they have some different little, I wouldn't say, well, like some clay pots or urns, as well as some gourds and stuff that they have different, different mixtures of. You're judging from the smell, maybe some different, different reagents for the ritual. But when they see you kind of grab in and start to assist, they sort of get what you're trying to do, realize you're not necessarily trying to mess with anything. What I would like you to do is I would like you to roll an Arcana check, but I would like you to roll with disadvantage.
Okay. Well, one of those was a 19. The other one is with my modifier is a 19. I rolled a 12. So, 19 total.
Actually, a 19's not bad. So you kind of start kind of throwing some of these reagents around and kind of casting with them, and even though you're like they're speaking in Draconic, I don't know. Do you speak Draconic?
Nope.
So, speaking in whatever language you want, then, because I guess it doesn't really matter. But there is kind of a weird sort of synergy that starts to happen as you're not only are you kind of aiding in the ritual, but you kind of magically sort of sync up with them a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And you do see that the help is definitely. Your help is definitely kind of turning the tide, and you do see that the rift is starting to shrink again.
Good. That'll be it for me. It's Barca up next.
Then it
Hey,
is Barca.
good timing. Well, Barca is scared of the Nilfeshni, which gives him disadvantage on his attack rolls. He is not able to flank, or have flanking, so he's going to attack recklessly.
Okay.
Just making it a straight roll. But he's still Barca, so we're going to go ahead and keep the Great Weapon Master active.
Okay.
He's going to take his 2 swings. 22 and 16.
The 22 will hit.
Okay. So that is 18 points of damage to the Nilfeshni of magical slashing.
Okay.
The other one just whiffs.
And he hacks a good. He sinks his axe blade into its thigh and manages to carve a nice solid chunk in as far as that goes. Is that it for Barca?
Oh, I'm sorry. Add fucking 3 more to that because I keep forgetting rage damage.
Okay.
I'm just looking at if there's anything else he can really do. I don't think there is, but it'd be really nice if he rolled a critical. All right. Nope, he's done.
Okay, so the Glabrezu goes next. Its little baby fists don't seem to do crap, but it does hit with its pincers, which savages Coglin a little bit. Coglin is angry.
Coglin mad.
Coglin decides to return the favor. Wow, I think that one's actually a miss.
Does Barca get another saving throw for his fear effect?
Oh,
Yes, he does, actually.
thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
He's at a -1 though.
It is a wisdom saving throw.
17?
Okay, he's no longer frightened.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, never mind. Those totally hit. Yep, okay. So, you see, so the Glabrezu kind of come in and digs deep furrows into Coglin with its 2 pincers, and Coglin proceeds to sink 2 claws and then bite and then tear it into 3. And the Glabrezu is no more.
Good.
Nice.
Collaborator.
And that leaves the Nilfeshni, who's really not liking this getting double team crap. So
Triple teamed.
Triple teamed, bitch.
Yeah, he's smart though, so he's gonna still focus all his attacks on one of you to wipe you off the map.
I promise you I look the squishiest.
But Amaya is the one doing radiant damage to it.
Yeah, I think actually he's probably going to go after Maya, truthfully, because you're both flanking and doing that Radiant DS, which it really doesn't like.
Awesome. Barca is going to take his sentinel attack.
Amaya also looks squishy, but is not.
Well, we'll see.
Does a 21 hit for Barker's Sentinel attack?
Yes.
Is it 15 or 16? I don't remember. $26 points of slashing damage.
Okay. So, starting with the bite, Amaya, does a 19 hit you?
Nope.
Okay. Well, then the nat 1 won't either.
Definitely not.
And, wow, those were all really crappy rolls. And the 15 will not as well. So you do that dope monk shit and...
That dump. Damn.
As it swings at you with its claws, digging huge furrows in the ground and snapping off a bite at you, but you just, like, you don't even have to move your feet necessarily. You just kind of do that, like you bend backwards, like you're kind of doing like the upside down bridge, but then sort of just kip up and out of the way, and yeah, it's
like watching somebody try to hit Muhammad Ali.
yes.
Just
Amaya's floating like a butterfly.
stinging like a radiant bee.
That is the finishing. Now it is Amaya's turn.
Beautiful. I am gonna go ham on it. I am
Matrix
blanking
yoga.
now.
You
Get
are
it.
playing.
Alright, so 21 to hit the first time.
That will hit.
And that will deal 15 points of radiant damage.
Ow.
And how hurt is this thing looking?
It's looking pretty hurt. But
Okay.
it's also a beefy, if somewhat flabby, porcine-looking horribleness. I mean,
That's
I don't know
fair.
if you've seen a picture of an alfejny, but they ugly.
They are. I'm going to spend a key point and make that a stunning strike too, so it has to try to make another Constitution save.
With disadvantage.
With disadvantage, however, the lowest it rolled on the die was a 13, and with its bonus is more than enough.
All right.
Because it would still be a 24.
Ouch. Okay. Next attack, 22 to hit,
That will hit.
and it will do nice another 16 radiant damage.
It's like a CR 14 monster.
And why not? I'll spend another key point, make another con save.
Nat 1?
Yes!
Ah,
Nice.
beautiful. Then it is stunned until the end of my next turn.
Oh,
That
that's
is
delightful.
That's beautiful.
We're going to follow that up with some unarmed strikes. That is a 24 to hit
That will hit.
for 11 points of magical bludgeoning.
Okay. Still up.
And then a 17 to hit.
No, that'll miss.
Well, that was still very successful round.
I'll say.
That was still a very successful round.
Oh, and I forgot to do this last round, but when Ember disappears, Amaya mentally reaches out to Zaya, like, Ember disappeared. See if you can reach out to her, see if you can find her, see if she's still nearby. Keep on the move. Physically look for her if you can. Try not to let anybody near you.
And you get a frightened reply of, I can't hear her, Mom.
It's alright, just keep trying. Let me know if you get through to her. And that will be Amaya's turn.
Alright. Let me do a roll here. Okay, so the portal is starting to shrink. Nothing seems to be coming out of it at the moment. So, yay. Top of the round is Gavin.
Okay. I mean, at this point, it seems like be a waste of a stunning strike if I didn't hit it a whole bunch. So, with advantage, that is a total of 21 for the first one.
Okay.
To hit.
To hit, not
To
damage.
hit, Brian.
Yeah, 21 hits.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't trying to do that much damage, because I don't typically do that much damage. And then 27 for the second one.
That will also hit.
Burp. $38 points of damage.
Nice.
That's total.
Gotcha. It is still barely up, but it is still up.
I'd like to kill something sometime ever. Would be nice.
Rhiannon.
Rhiannon is gonna keep working on this rift.
Okay. I'll say go ahead and make a straight arcana roll this time.
Okay. 21.
Yeah. So you definitely, like I said, you're kind of in this sort of symmetry with them now. You're sort of in sync, and as you see on both sides, you're all kind of slowly kind of stepping forward, moving closer as the rift continues to shrink.
Excellent. Do I feel like I could also do like a bonus action spell, or does my entire attention need to be focused?
No, I'd say your action would be working on the ritual, so you'd still have a bonus.
Does Gavin or Barca look like they're in need of healing?
Barca does. Gavin looks fine.
Okay. I will toss a healing word at Barca.
Okay.
At third level?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go third level. You got this, buddy. 8 plus 2 is just 10 points, but it's 10 points.
That's more than he had before. Keep him in triple digits for longer.
Yeah, that means he can take 20 more points of damage, so...
There you go. Then it is Barca.
Right. Hey, that's me. Barca, sorry. I'm like, alright, Darren, fuck him up. Oh, right, that's... right. Well, he's going to keep up with the reckless attacking. He's going to be using the...
He's not at disadvantage anymore.
It is...
Right.
Yeah, he's no longer frightened.
And he's flanking.
It
He's
is
not flanking.
stunned right now.
Oh, it is... Do you get advantage when he's stunned?
Yup.
Okay, then never mind. He will not be
Against
reckless.
the stunned creature have advantage. Yep.
So 23
That
for the
will
first
hit.
attack. 12 for the second.
The 12 it will not hit.
No. I rolled very poorly on that one.
However,
21 points of damage.
how he rolls, he might kill it. How much damage?
21.
And in your best Barca voice, I want to do this.
Barca. Oh, sorry, Barca voice. Barca. Swing and first try hit in face, but kind of bounce off tusk. But then reverse blade and kind of come up underneath, right in chunky junk bits. And then just kind of keep going until it's fully in half.
Gross. I love it.
And Barca is rewarded with a shower of a sulfurous smelling ichor as it coats his fur as he
Barker roars in glorious triumph.
not perfectly bisects the creature, but cuts the front end enough that the creature sort of, you know how like sometimes you cut a hot dog in half, but it, like the skin still stays on the one end a little bit, where you have to like take the knife again to kind of cut the.
It's like opening a traditionally made sausage, but by not going all the way through.
Yeah, it's that.
The zipper cut, if you will.
So we are effectively out of combat.
Gross.
With the last few moments, Rhiannon, you and the lizard folk are able to seal the rift. Admittedly, the putrescence of all of this dead demon gore is nasty, but you know, even for the stinking hot mess that is the lovely fetid jungles of Kabara, it's pretty nasty. Definitely a very sulfurous smell, kind of interacting with all the other normal smells of that. But with the rift gone, you do see the demon bodies start to sort of much like the movie Gremlins seem to just sort of melt and bubble and ooze away.
Gross.
Yeah.
Hi. To Coglin.
Amaya's just going to shout to the rest of the group, "Look for Ember, I'm getting back to Zaya," and then book it out of the room again.
And actually, I will say when the Nalfejni does die,
Ember pops back into
you
existence.
see Ember pops back, kind of finishing off her sentence, which is a whole bunch of expletives.
Gotcha.
And then just kind of like...
Did you get banished? You got banished.
It fucking sucked.
I bet.
Amaya still books it out of the room, but just
And
I'm getting back to
she
Zaya.
heads over and then starts kicking some of the putrescence that is the Nalfejni.
Fair. We got this, Amaya.
So Amaya, you head back to Zaya then?
Yep, Amaya heads back to Zaya, gets back on board as quickly as possible, and is continuing to be very paranoid about anybody who may have tried to use the distraction to get on board.
And you do have you still have the fly spell on you, I believe.
No, I never had the fly spell on because I just jumped off and soft.
Oh, I thought Nikali
cast fly.
on you.
He offered to, but Amaya was like, "Nah, I got this," and she dropped into the hero landing.
Okay. So how are you gonna get back up to Zaya?
Probably the longboat.
I'm just kidding. There's a longboat there. Got down.
I mean, or Amaya could move 150 feet and around and can move up vertical surfaces. So as long as Zaya gets close enough to the ground, she can just run up the side.
And you get back up to Zaya. You do see Nikali and Kaladin are like, and the goblins are kind of there, like. Actually, you see the goblins have a couple of the thorn launchers loaded and ready to go, and they're like, "Is it okay? Do you need help?"
No help needed at the moment, but keep up your guard. I'm not entirely sure I believe that this emergency was wholly coincidental yet. And she'll kind of go and do another like security sweep of Zaya.
Okay.
She is super paranoid at this point.
That's fair. That is fair. Meanwhile, as for the rest of you, you see Coglin in the dragon form kind of walks over to like one of the side walls where there's maybe like a sort of like a little bit of a small waterfall, and kind of splashes some water on itself to get rid of some of the nastiest ichor, and then kind of walks over towards you, and as he does, kind of shrinks back down into his gnomish form.
So that was fun.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Well, remember when I said that as I was taking over the duties of Rashak, since all of this, well, those are some of the duties. Unfortunately, this place was a nexus point for many battles eons ago, when the different demon lords attempted to destroy Eberron. And unfortunately, the veil between planes is weakened. And sometimes, especially when certain moons are in their proper alignment, they're able to tear holes through and come forth. So we admittedly, it is part of my responsibilities. I guess in some small way you could look at it as maybe a penance. I don't know that, but my responsibilities require me and those of the shamans here that have the training to do so, and make sure the rifts are closed as quickly as possible.
That sucks.
Well, it does. It does mean that it is not a. Well, it does keep things interesting. We'll leave it at that. I'm welcome to see you back here. How are I feel? Admittedly, we've only not seen each other for a few days, but I admit I'm a little surprised you're coming back already. But happy that you're here.
Well,
We have
Is
a bit of
there-
a situation.
Oh, okay.
We're being chased, and we're not quite sure by what or by whom.
I think it's fair to say that we're probably being chased by almost everybody at this point.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the Five Nations are going to, after the theft of the airships, are going to want Zaya. So any of the, other than the Moorland, I guess, is going to want to try to commandeer our vessel. And honestly, that's not the scariest thing that's after us right now. So we kind of picked a spot on the map at random and wound up back at Hakatorback.
Oh.
And we can't really stay in any one place for very long, so...
But we figured since we were here, we'd check in and see if you needed any help, and clearly you did.
Or if you had any sort of information that could possibly be helpful to us.
Well, I mean, I'm more than happy to assist in whatever ways I can.
Have any way to disguise an airship?
anything in your library about the Inspired and or the Kalashtar?
I admit I don't have much information on the Inspired. However, and very little on the Kalashtar, as they are a much more recent occurrence to Eberron. I mean, recent for a dragon. They've been around for a couple centuries, but
Yeah.
they're relative to an ancient dragon. They're
Yeah.
new. But I may have some information. I may have some information on Sarlona, which is, I believe, where the Inspired come from.
I think any and all information
Yes.
about Sarlona would be helpful. Anything related to this is going to be helpful.
Now, granted, not everything information I have is necessarily, how would you say, recent information, but what information I do have, there were several battles with the demon lords, thousands of your years, thousands of dragons' lifetimes, even dragons as old as myself, that fought against these demonic hordes all across Eberron. Sarlona was interesting in, if I recall, in so much in that in many parts of the lowlands, the plains that kind of make up more or less central Sarlona, they are from time to time. Well, the veil between plains is very thin there. However, it is more a miasma of different confluences of different planes, not just one specific. But it is so it is not uncommon to come across rifts not entirely dissimilar to what you've seen here roll across the plains from time to time. There are a group of dragons who are in a similar position to my own that try to keep a watch over such things so that nothing, shall we say, that nothing comes as a surprise to us, that dragonkind is alerted if something should happen. However, if you were to, it is more common to see dragons there of, I guess I don't know, I mean, obviously your recent excursions and experiences have given you some knowledge of how to fight dragonkind, but depending on how knowledgeable you are, most people tend to group us in more or less two categories: those who have a more metallic sheen, or those that have been a bit more colorful, for lack of a better term, or chromatic, as they might say. But much less common in these parts, but definitely more common to Arganessen, but also to Sarlona, are more or less a third group of dragons that are referred to, compared more to gemstones, I guess you could say, than a metallic component or a chromatic component.
Interesting.
And don't get me wrong, they are, like many dragons, they can be as egotistical, as intelligent, as guiling, and as honorable or dishonorable as any other dragons you've faced. But they tend to, due to their unique natures, they tend to have a somewhat of a different presence and abilities than what you may have been used to in your times fighting Rishak and Drakaskol's legions as an example. Some of the gem dragons even have a bit of psychic aptitude, mental aptitude in some cases. No less formidable than any other dragon, but I imagine with your experience, even with the few surprises they may have, not that I'm encouraging you to fight them necessarily, but should it come down to that, I have no doubt with your crew's pluck and skill, you'll be able to fend for yourself.
Consider me discouraged from fighting them.
Well, they do tend to lean more towards the I guess one could argue they definitely lean more towards the intellectual pursuits. So you might have a better time reasoning with them, I suppose.
We are nothing if not reasonable. Sometimes. He glances at Ember.
And she just kind of looks over and sort of sticks her tongue out at you.
Yeah, sounds like Ember.
As far as more current events, such as information on the Inspired and whatnot, I don't really have a whole lot I can tell you. Admittedly, that was never really my area of expertise. And admittedly, now that my responsibilities force me to more or less reside here, I would not be able to return to Argoness any time soon to gather any more information on that. So, in that specific scope of reference, I do apologize that I'm not able to give you more.
No, you've honestly given us more than I honestly had considered anyway.
More
That's
that we
not
had,
really
for sure. Do you have any sort of magics or knowledge of magics that would allow us to cloak or hide Zaya or prevent people from scrying on her?
I mean, most of the magics I could think of usually involve a person.
Right, which we've encountered, and but Zaya is different.
Admittedly, the magics would be a bit different for a vessel. That being said, very powerful magics could potentially do it. I just don't know of many.
Out of curiosity, do you happen to have anything that might affect scrying or something like that, like block scrying or something like that on a person? My thinking is that we might reverse engineer and see if we can't make it apply to a vessel. And I'm going to go ahead and roll a deception because that is a flagrant lie.
Okay.
I roll an 18 on the die. And my deception is a 9, so 27.
And you see, he does think about it a bit. I mean, extremely powerful magics, I suppose, could, but it would probably require. Again, I don't know of many mortals that would have the ability. Perhaps one of the, I suppose, some of the magic schools or whatever. There might be a powerful mage that maybe has the potential, but
I feel like you're misunderstanding me. I'm specifically looking for an item that would, in fact, affect a person. If we have a base source to go with, we know a wizard that might be able to reverse engineer and figure out the rest.
I do not have any in my possession currently, although I've heard of sometimes amulets that help against certain scrying attempts.
Okay.
Potentially, or rings.
What kind of magic is that referred to? That is my metagame or in-game way of asking what spell is this, so we know what to look for.
Well, it's
I know what it is.
An amulet that's like proof against detection.
Right,
scrying.
it's not detection is basically the spell.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And you guys would know that Amaya just recently bought that amulet. Just in case it would work on Zaya.
Yeah.
Right. So there are certain magics as far as for a person. For something as large as a ship, though, I believe it would require more potent magics. Not to say that something of that nature couldn't be created, but I imagine it would take some time and experimentation, especially for something so powerful.
understandable. Well, do you have anything else you want to ask Coglin while we're here?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless you've got any idea who may be coordinating the attacks for the Lazar principalities, but
I mean, it was quite a shock that they were as organized as they were. As my understanding, the Lazar principalities is having more than a ship or two of your fleet usually requires a quite charismatic or intimidating individual to try to maintain that.
mm-hmm.
And the principalities, as far as I know, the princes or princesses, I guess, however you want to refer to them nobility-wise, and I say that very loosely. But they feed off of each other as much as anyone else. So the fact that someone with a lot of charm and planning and know-how, not only to get all of these, quite frankly, egotistical
Pirates.
to collaborate on such an event, yet alone have it seem to happen with such timing across the continent, as at least as it was described to me and from what things I've read, seemed to happen within a relatively it didn't happen necessarily all at once out of character, but definitely within the same day, pretty much all across Corvair, which is a feat of logistics that would be
beyond their reach.
Well, very unlikely that they would have that, and I guess I have not granted, they are also not necessarily the focus of my studies, but I tend to know a little bit. I tend to keep abreast of the current situations in Corvair, at least, and I have not heard of any particular prince or princess having that much pull to gather them all together the way they were.
Is there one of your kind that does perhaps study them that could give us more information that you would be willing to vouch for us?
Not that I know of. And I will admit, for the longest time, their area seemed chaotic enough that, for the most part, draconic kind, at least those that I am in touch with, were very unconcerned with the fate of the principalities. That being said, current events definitely do lend a more discerning eye. Assuming, though, that they are still in possession, well, I have not heard of any news yet of any of the governments pursuing overt action that I know of, but I would not be surprised if certain elements like the Lanterns of Brayland or other such organizations from the other countries that have been impacted from this, let alone the Dragonmarked houses themselves. I'm sure House Leondar is most interested in getting their airships back.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your information.
I mean, for what it is worth, it is wonderful to see you again. I had not expected such a surprise visit.
Neither did we. And up until the moment the goblin shot the map, we did not know we were coming.
Well, of course, you're always welcome here, and I will try to endeavor to make your next visit less combative.
Is there anything we can do for you while we're here and fixing to leave pretty soon?
Oh, well, as far as my horde, and kind of gestures over to like kind of one of the sides where actually it was one of the more elevated areas.
Mm-hmm.
in the larger room that actually where Lyria was chained up, you see instead of any of the chains, there are now shelves lined with all the different tomes and the walls of which are lined with all the different tomes and books and scrolls and tablets and things that he has. And you see on the other side of the large chamber where the other elevated spot was, again where the walls are, there's more there as well. And
well, if I come across anything of particular interest, I'm sure I will.
We'll bring you a copy.
See if you're interested in collecting it.
oh, that is most appreciated. I will keep an eye open as well. And if I do find any more information, I will. More information about Sarlona or perhaps even the Lazar pirates. I will definitely touch base.
Thank you. We
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
it.
And I guess we'll go back to the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell you what, let's go ahead and take a little it's probably a good spot to take a little break. Let's maybe try to get back in, say, 7-ish minutes.
Sure.
Okay.
So those of you watching, we're going to be back in about 7 minutes, which would put us at
Roughly about 8:50.
8:55.
8:50 Central Time.
I can tell time.
I am going to run an ad. So get up, take a pee, do your thing. We'll be back in about a little less than 10 minutes.
Hi, shall we?
Hi.
And with that fuck pants comment, let's go live.
Yeah, we're live currently. Phoenix is making terrible puns.
It was bad.
fine.
It's fine.
I'm gonna drink my booze.
This is
They're
why Schmoopsy is the one who makes the puns, and I just laugh, because I'm not very funny.
That's not the point of puns.
Indeed, the point of puns is to make everybody groan.
That is the point of puns, yes.
I don't
More or less.
know. I think they're funny.
I laugh at them.
There is a college humor song all about the purpose of puns. We will find it and watch it. It is amazing.
If I must.
Fair enough. So, as we return, I'm assuming the rest of you do kind of report back up to the ship.
Yes.
What do you do from here?
Well, Amaya, God told me that if we stick around a little while longer, we might be able to get to level 12. So we're gonna grind some fucking demons right now. No, that doesn't happen.
Oh, we're on a mission from Gad.
We're in a mission from God. I have a terrible idea.
Let's hear it.
And there's no way in hell we're going to do it, but it's going to gnaw at me if I don't say it out loud. We could take some of the heat off of ourselves if we retrieve the airships for House Lyrindar.
How are we going to retrieve a whole fleet
Have you met us?
of airships?
Have you met us?
Yes, I have.
We have done some nearly impossible things
None of
since
us have
day
a
one.
So
We may have to coordinate with House Lyrindar to make that happen, but I'm just saying, like, if we do this, we might be able to take some of the heat off of us.
Okay. You know how I hate it when you're right?
Yes, I do, vividly.
I'm hating it a lot right now, but that's actually not an awful idea.
We'd have to coordinate with Lyrindar, which means we'd probably have to go to Stormhome.
Storm Rage.
No, Stormhome.
Oh! Okay.
The sitting power
yes,
of Lyrindar.
I know. I just was thinking better the devil we know, and we could go talk with Halas, but...
I mean, we could start there.
Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Alright.
We could definitely start there, but...
I don't know.
Amaya, you are 100% privy to this conversation as well.
Yeah, Amaya,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? You worked for them.
Yeah, Stormhome, not that you can see. So, like, you guys are
Fuck, hang on. I have the map cam off. Give me a second.
oh, okay.
You're good. Go.
Y'all are right down here right now. And Stormhome is up here.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trek.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's it's 2 or 3 days travel by airship. Not horrible there.
Yeah.
I mean, you are flying over some countries that are at war, so there might be some
What if
risk.
What if we went up and around?
Well, and like the Mornland is there too, so we'd have to kind of skirt. Honestly, what I would suggest, I don't know shit about this. Never mind. Adam would suggest something. Gavin doesn't know shit about shit, so he just stops talking.
Actually, well, hold on a second. I believe you all are now proficient in air vehicles.
We are.
Yeah.
So, you do know a few things.
Honestly,
maybe not as much as the captain of the captains.
if we were to go to Stormhome, and I honestly don't know if this is the plan, if we were to Stormhome, I would probably want to dip south around the Mornland and then kind of skirt the dead gray mist on the not awful side up towards Stormhome.
I don't know. Maya, what do you think? Because that
I
could take
am-
some heat off of us.
It could. At the same time, while I feel like we could engage the stolen Lyrandar airships, I don't know if we could retrieve them without leaving Zaya.
Well, we're definitely not leaving Zaya. If we had a way to get Lyrandar pilots there...
That's kind of my point. We would have to approach Lyrandar and offer our services to retrieve some of their fleet. And I don't see a way that we could do it all at once.
At the very least, if we took a few of their pilots there, and they were able to, with our help, retrieve a few, they could then use that as a
Right.
jumping off point.
As a jumping off point to continue to retrieve more. And that'll keep the countries from trying to commandeer Zaya, which, again, I don't think they'll succeed, but that does mean we'll be persona non grata with full-ass countries, and I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, it'd put less of a target on our back,
Right.
potentially. Amaya, do you have a... I don't know,
What are your thoughts?
Do you have someone in Lyrandar you trust that we could see if they would even be interested in something
That isn't
like
all
that?
the way in Stormreach?
Yeah.
I do have some Lyrandar connections from my time on past ships.
Mhm.
Actually, hold on a second.
I will hold on as Gavin sips a dark and stormy.
I'm sipping a dark and stormy. You've got a Kentucky Mule.
What's the difference? What's in a
Dark and stormy has rum. Kentucky Mule is whiskey or bourbon.
I hate this so much.
Well,
I loathe Kentucky just as a rule.
oh, I mean, fair.
No offense to anybody watching from Kentucky, just your government sucks.
Yeah.
So while Schmoopsy looks that up, go visit our friend Epic_Realms for really cool things that they do, like interviews and gaming and stream raiders and gaming, and it's really funny to watch. So Nick is the guy that runs Epic Realms, and he's not a horror gamer. He's not big on horror games.
No.
And so when he plays horror games, he screams like a tiny little bitch.
Well, and he has like a heart rate
And he's
monitor.
got a heart rate monitor
so you can
when
see.
he plays. It's real funny.
Yeah,
Real funny.
I would
And
not
then
do
he
well
usually
with
has sound alerts on that will also further fuck with him.
that. I would not do well with that. I would probably like end up throwing the controller.
Wholesale throw the controller across the room.
in a panic as something jump scared me.
I'm really strongly considering streaming Dragon Age Inquisition since I've been playing again.
it.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Actually, there is supposed to be some way you can play multiplayer with that, right?
There is. We never actually got to it, but it's not the main campaign. You're fundamentally Inquisition soldiers.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that I don't want to try it at some point, but
Yeah, we talked about doing that.
we did. And now that we have a stream, I think maybe we should talk again about it at some point.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I finally talked Phoenix into playing it, so.
To be fair, I had started playing it like 4.5 years ago and had no idea what any of it was. And Adam
Sure.
convinced me to go back and start playing Origins, which I played a bit of. And I was kind of
Origins.
meh about it.
Fair enough.
But he had me play through the tutorial yesterday, and I was like, oh.
Of Inquisition.
Of
specifically.
Inquisition. And I was
Gotcha.
like, oh, okay, I could do this. This is pretty cool. So,
And I think it helped to have somebody explain, like,
Yeah.
the things.
Yeah.
All right, Game Maestro,
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you remember the kind of extra Maya backstory stuff that I sent you beginning of March?
I have it right in front of me, in fact.
The main person talked about
Uh-huh.
in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
Could
didn't give a name on that. Would you like to give a name on that?
I think I might have to come up with a name sooner than expected, but could we say that that person was potentially actually a member of House Lyrandar?
Malvolio de Lirandar.
That sounds
No.
evil. Don't make it an evil name.
That's one of my former characters.
Um,
Captain Mal? They could be Captain Mal.
That's why he was called that.
Oh, now I kind of love it, and I hate you for it.
yes, yes. In point of fact, I would, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Wink, darling.
Okay.
Just don't call him Johnny.
No.
That's a whole ass other thing.
Because
Johnny is.
trust me, you don't want to open that bag of worms.
Which reminds me,
No.
we need to play that again.
That's a thing. Anyway.
So, I do actually have a House Lyrandar contact that I had already been meaning to reach out to. I suppose if I could borrow the wand of sending,
Rhiannon
I could send
immediately
them a
pulls
more
out the wand of sending.
Yeah, Amaya's not even done with her sentence, and there's a wand in her face.
direct
Also-
message. Yes.
Also, point of interest. This ship is registered in the Lazar Principalities. Does that make you a princess?
No, that's a whole ass different thing, Rihanna.
Oh.
And to be fair, to be a Lazar prince, you need several ships. You basically need to be a commodore.
I mean, we have 2 ships, technically speaking.
We super don't. They reclaimed their damn ship.
The longboat doesn't count.
I was thinking about the ship we took over in Droam.
I
Which
know,
they
but
took back.
you guys let it float.
Fine,
this thing
fine.
to the ground. So I mean, it doesn't really count.
Fine. Totally calling Amaya princess.
Oh, good.
Princess Captain Amaya.
I mean,
Your Highness.
we've shifted wholesale into
Your Highness, Captain Amaya.
we've shifted wholesale into Star Wars territory at this point, and Amaya is now Space Mom.
See, and now Amaya, you need to redo your hair, so you just have the 2 buns for the rest of it.
Oh,
Cinnamon roll buns.
And you wear white. This is a thing.
oh boy.
It was
I think
destiny.
I think you need to set up a vote on your stream for next a poll maybe
Sure.
for your next stream as far as what hairstyle Zai will or Amaya will have to adopt,
Oh
Yeah.
goodness.
becoming the
I like this.
princess, the princess
Princess
Oh.
Space Mom. It's fine.
space captain of.
Princess Space Mom, Captain Amaya. Captain Amaya.
What have I found myself in?
The best part is, Kit, you love it.
You do.
Oh God, help me! Some part of me does.
I know.
The best part is if any of the depending on how much of this conversation is happening in game, you already see Embers playing with her instruments, starting to build the theme song. It's like Princess Captain Amaya, so she's already working on that.
Oh,
Oh, this whole conversation is happening in character. Yeah.
I don't know how we'd have the Princess Leia conversation, though. Like, that's not... Star Wars is not canon to Eberron, alas.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, we're having 90% of this conversation in
That's fair.
character.
Princess Space Mom.
Princess Space Mom, Captain Amaya.
At any rate, you now have a wand of sending in your hand.
You do.
I do now have a wand of sending in my hand. And I'm going to... Oh, I have to come up with 25 words. I'm not used to doing that.
You could just go full jester and just ramble on and recast the spell as needed.
It only has 3 charges.
Technically, you have 75 words.
Also, I usually use a charge to check in on Narashti, so maybe try to use only 2.
Yeah, but that was... Well, yeah, if you used one earlier...
I haven't yet today, but...
Well, you just want to keep one in reserve.
Yes.
So you have 50 words.
Okay. Let's see here. It's Amaya. Let's see here. Have heard of Lyrandar's airship troubles.
Brian's being rude.
May have a way to help. Where could we safely meet?
3 words left.
How are you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm chatting with the little friends there.
Talking about shows that don't hold up.
Secrecy critically important.
Oh, nice.
After a few moments, you get back. Holy shit. Amaya. Last I heard, you side with the Radiant Dawn. Glad to hear you're alive. I think.
You've got 8 words left.
Okay. And hope that sexy body wasn't damaged in, and then that's all you get.
Oh. Too bad I can't hear it. Rhiannon would tease the hell out of Amaya. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably better that you can't hear it, at least from Amaya's perspective.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna have to do another sending here because he didn't actually give us any place to meet up.
And then after a few moments, right as you're about to get the wand, you hear his voice and go, "Fuck, sorry, didn't know." Few words. Right, secrecy. Have you heard of a place called Skyhold?
Brian. Because we met Jared, and did he ever talk about any of that with us?
That is a good question. Pick a number on a d6.
2.
Not that you can recall, but admittedly, you were not paying so much attention to him. However, Becky's character, or not Becky,
Beth's character.
Beth's character, thank you. Why did I say Becky? I'm thinking of Darren's fiance for some reason. I don't know why. Brain fart. It's late. All right. I mean, for me.
Or just one of my previous partners too, really.
But Beth's character, and I'm totally forgetting her name at the moment, would have probably discussed it at some point.
The only reason why I ask is because if he'd mentioned it, that might have, like, we'd think of it now. But if he didn't, then there's no reason that would come into my head. So.
But yeah, not that you can recall.
Okay. Anyway, continue. Sorry, we haven't heard of Skyhold.
This person has 8 words left if they want to finish up. There are 8 words left.
But for Amaya, I would let you go ahead and roll, like, I'd say history if you got it, otherwise just kind of a straight in roll.
Alright. That'll be a total of 12.
Okay. You don't... You remember it kind of being like the... sort of a secret that was kind of gossiped over. Because it was usually something that the youngins of Lyrandar, so to speak, would maybe kind of whisper and sort of as kind of a worst kept secret sort of thing, but usually when not in listening distance of those more senior members of House Lyrandar. You don't know much about it other than that some sort of waypoint somewhere between Corvair and Stormreach, and that it was some sort of joint operation with Lyrandar and Orion. Certain elements within Lyrandar and Orion. You think it's somewhere in the... So there's a huge kind of archipelago that actually Stormreach is kind of on the very kind of bottom end of, or from like south to north, but where Stormreach is, there's this just huge archipelago of a bunch of different islands that are referred to as Shargan's Teeth.
Okay.
That realistically stretch a good maybe third of the way. Like if you were taking an ocean-bound vessel from, say, Sharn, which is a common exit point to go to Stormreach, like a good third of the way from Stormreach to Sharn is sailing through the Shargan's Teeth.
Okay.
So it's a pretty... I mean, if you wanted to give it a real-world analog, think like the islands of, like, Indonesia, like, or something, like, literally thousands of islands of various sizes. Now, it is a dangerous area to travel, but although maybe a little bit less so for an airship, although they do have their moments. So you don't really know much more than that.
Just kind of the general rumored location.
Just the kind of the general rumored location, and it was some sort of big hush-hush deal between a couple of sort of movers and shakers within House Orion and House Lyrandar.
Okay.
And that's really about all you got.
Okay. Were there any further words, or was that the end of the message?
No, you're guessing that.
Okay. Then
He'd cast
from
it
where we
on
are,
you, so you can reply.
Yeah.
yeah. From where we are though currently, about how long would it take us to get there to that general area?
Well, like to get from right now, you're in Kabara, above Kabara. So from Kabara to Stormreach, is roughly about 10ish days, give or
So
take.
like a week or so to get to this location.
Usually from airship to get from like Sharn to Stormreach is roughly about a week.
Gotcha.
Because you're adding that little bit of extra distance from going a little bit more eastbound from Kabara, it's maybe a few more days, but so yeah, I mean roughly 10ish days, give or take the weather or incidents or whatever.
Okay. Then Amaya will respond. Heard rumors. Exact location unknown. Could be nearby in 10 days. Any location specifics appreciated? And I have 10 words left, right?
You have 9 words left.
I have 9 words left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's not really too much more critical info that Amaya wants to get across, so she's going to finish her message with, hope your body's still fine, too. Safe words, meatloaf.
I love you.
Best part is meatloaf is technically one word.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you're playing D&D in Germany, the 25 word rule would get so broken because they have all the big huge
Because you compound words so much, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's coming from a guy who has studied 0 German and knows how to maybe count to 10 in German.
I have 3 semesters of it. We Frankensteined words together all the time.
Yeah, so...
I have a German mutual on TikTok that is in D&D TikTok. I should ask that question.
You should.
See, like, how many words can you break the system of sending with? Anyway, but I digress.
Although she usually plays D&D in English, so I don't...
That's...
I'll ask.
You should ask.
At the very least, I could ask the question.
Yeah.
After that, I have a cat trying to get my attention. I'm like, oh, hey, should we test that amulet you got, Amaya?
Well, I guess test it in what way?
Well, I mean, if you give it to Zaya, she puts it on and attunes to it, and then we ask Coglin to scry on the ship.
I mean, the amulet is already on her
I think she already
dryad
attuned to
form.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if she's able to attune to an item, she's had plenty of opportunity. I know she is technically a sentient item herself, so.
I mean, granted, the rules for her kind of dip into a little quasi-ness. So, but here's what I'm gonna kind of say. Um, like maybe in her dryad form, it might work as far as her dryad form.
But it's not going to work on the ship as a whole.
No.
Okay.
It would take not just saying that something couldn't be crafted or done, which it totally could. But in terms as far as to create a more overarching effect, but it would usually require some more powerful magics or crafting a magic item of some kind, which, the big thing would be it would take time and some funky reagents, perhaps. Granted, you guys have more wealth than some demigods, so it wouldn't really be an issue of purchasing said reagents in more just a time frame of crafting it. But you could technically, you've got several spellcasters on board that can craft things. There's nothing stopping. Well, any of you that cast spells, so limiting, Barca and
Amaya
and Amaya for right now, but and Kaladin. But
Macaulay, Gavin, Ember, and I could.
Right, because you all cast spells, have arcane knowledge and skills.
I have thoughts. This is in character, Gavin. I have thoughts.
Well, are they thoughts that can be explored while we're in flight?
Oh, 100%.
Amaya, do we have a heading? Or are we having the goblin fire at the list again?
Well, actually, before you guys dive into that, Amaya, you do get a response back, or another sending back to you.
Oh.
If you can get to Stormreach, I can meet you there. And from there, I could get you to Skyhold. Plus, great place in Stormreach.
You're out.
And then if you could hear the rest of the conversation.
All right, the response. Understood. We'll meet in Stormreach. We'll communicate via sending in the next few days to work out details. Shoot, how many words do I have?
7.
7.
Wear that thong that I like.
Remember, secrecy, critically important until we talk.
And you don't get a response, any further responses back, but you're...
Right. So, but I figure over the next week to 10 days of actually heading over there, we'll have plenty of our uses of the Wand of Sending and their uses sending messages back to work out more specifics where in Stormreach we're going to meet and what time and what specific day and etc.
Absolutely. So with that, then, do you start making your way to Stormreach?
Unless anybody has any objections, I think yes.
Let's do it. It's at least a plan, and it might help us.
All right.
It's a plan that doesn't involve goblins shooting bows.
Which is always a good thing, in my opinion. Blindfolded, no less.
Like, I don't mind them shooting
mind
bows
goblins
when they
shooting
can
bows.
see. It's the blindfolded part I have an issue with.
So you,
Though to be fair, Rhiannon would have a problem with anybody shooting a bow blindfolded, not just the goblins.
so with that, you turn the ship south and begin, or southeastish, westish, sorry, and begin making your way down towards Stormreach. And because it is later in the evening and we're used to playing date games and I'm tired, I think that's probably a good point for us to kind of call it for tonight. So I apologize for those that are watching if you wanted a little bit more meat, but we're also down a couple people and I know they would prefer us not to,
I'm sure they'd be real grumpy with us. They're going to be real grumpy with us for deciding what we're doing without consulting them, but they can suck it up because they weren't here.
Well, no, I'm sure on the decision choice they'll be totally fine with the fact that you guys made a decision, knowing them. But
well, and knowing that there are potentially salacious details to be learned if this is the way we go.
Yeah.
True.
that's a good question because I forget with the sending spell, is it all a mental communication or do you speak out loud the words?
You speak out loud the words.
But I also could have walked the hell away knowing that.
But Amaya didn't say she walked the hell
Okay, but
away.
Amaya might have said it had they known that she was going to be speaking out loud. Let's give Amaya the benefit of the doubt here.
I mean, no.
Well, you don't have to.
You could have used the wand in your captain's quarters. Although I will say maybe after like day one into the travel, as you're kind of resting or whatnot, Zaya will kind of form and kind of curl up and snuggle with you a little bit. And as you're kind of sitting there falling asleep a little bit, all of a sudden you get this little mental jolt as you hear, so what the hell is a safe word? But we'll leave it at that for now.
Right,
We'll
no
leave that
shit.
as the
Yeah,
rest of
all
the
right.
campaign.
We're gonna go to our end screen. Thank you all for watching. We're gonna
Thanks,
raid.
everyone.
We're gonna raid Epic Realms because he's streaming right now. So
Oh yeah.
Lovely.
Let's do it.
so yeah.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks, folks.